Hey, how's it going? It's Robin Smith, and it's time for the Robin Smith Show for Sunday, March 15th. The odds... Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm snotting all over this microphone. The Ides of March. It's the Ides of March. Isn't that when Brutus, he stabs Caesar in the back, right? So just, check out for maybe if you're listening to this on March 15th, beware of backstabbers. And this comes out 8 p.m. Eastern, so, you've probably survived the backstabbers. But today on the show, I have a single to share with you. I'll be speaking to the fellas at No Pterodactyls. I'll be speaking to Brian and Connor on March 25th. These guys, they are a band in the D.C. area. What do they describe themselves as? I should have done my homework. How are they described? They're an indie rock band, pretty much. Come on, guys, where's your bio? Let me fill time here. Indie rock without flying dinosaurs. Well, okay, that's good. That's good. Will Brewster recommends No Pterodactyls. He likes that there aren't any pterodactyls. Will Brewster, fun fact, I used to record with Will Brewster and play with him. He was a temporary bass player. He did a stint in the Very Small. And he is the guitarist in No Pterodactyls. I also know Tony Simpson. I played poker with that guy one time. Tony plays keys in the band. But anyway, I'm speaking to Brian and Connor. Brian's the drummer, and Connor is their other guitarist. And I'll be talking to those guys on March 25th. Excuse me. This is my second round of colds. Have you listeners, any of you gotten a cold before, and then you got better, but like before you were 100%, you got a second cold? Has that ever happened? I'm not talking about like the first one worsening or turning into pneumonia. Not that. A completely second cold. That's where I am at right now. So I apologize. So their new single, I'm recording this on Thursday, so it has not been released. It's going to release on Friday, but by the time you hear this, it will have already dropped on Friday the 13th. Boy, Friday the 13th and the Ides of March. Lots to beware of. Okay, so I'm going to play that right now. This is their new single, Sisyphus. Enjoy. Okay, that was Sisyphus by No Pterodactyls. And I'm glad I had a pause break in there because, man, oh man, did I need that tissue box. Okay, TMI? Is it TMI? So also March 15th, just by the way, it's time to print out your brackets. If you're a March Madness guy, I like to do it every year with my daughters. I think my youngest daughter won. Charlie won the office pool, the home pool. She went on the Gators. She called it from the get-go. World champs, right? We're not world champs. You know what I mean? Isn't that what happened last year? The Florida Gators won. So she beat us all. And yeah, print out your brackets if you're interested. I can't say that I will the Capitals be in the playoffs? Okay, will we even be in the playoffs? I have no idea. The Caps, I heard, I'm on a text thread. These guys are talking about how they look like shit against Calgary. But then we end up beating Calgary, 6-3 or something? I don't remember what the final score was. But I saw the highlights against the Flyers, and, they just, good for Leonard. He got a goal. Tom Wilson had a breakaway, and he didn't even look like, he was just like, meh. I feel like their spirits are just demoralized. But what do I know? Those are just highlights. I'm going to take the girls to Kids Day. I'm actually going to see the Caps twice this month because my buddy Ian gave me tickets last year. He wasn't able to go to the game. And those were sweet tickets. I talked about it on the podcast. I won't go over it again. But the point is, my turn to take him. I'm not taking him to the lower section. Let me tell you that much. That is not in the budget. He and I are going to be in the nosebleeds. He's going to be like, hey, what gives? I put you near Brett Bayer, and now we're up here with the uglies. Come on. Anyway, the Caps are 12th in the league. Are we going to make it to the playoffs? I don't know. It's sad. It is sad. I'm still processing the Carlson trade. Anyway, I digress. Speaking of parenting and my girls, I've been using ChatGPT to aid in the parenting journey. I guess a lot of people have been incorporating AI over the last year. That's good. But I took them ice skating, and, I wanted them to be motivated, and I'm trying to get them to do their chores, and I asked ChatGPT about it, and ChatGPT says, instead of telling them to do chores, call it instead of a chore chart. And this was before ChatGPT. I don't know where I got it from. Chore chart, right? Excuse me. ChatGPT says, no, call it a done list. It's more motivating. Anyway, so we did the done list, and then it worked. They worked like a charm for Saturday and for ice skating. And then so now I have it on the fridge for, the school, the after school routine. And mostly it works. My daughter says, but Daddy, it's your pep night. We watch TV when my wife and I are taking a class, a parent encouragement program, PEP. Maybe you've heard of it. It's a parenting class. And so, she kind of got me on that. I was like, you did your homework, but you haven't done your tidying. And I was just like, okay, you're right. It's important to be rigid, or not rigid. I'm sorry. Freudian slip. It's important to be flexible. Speaking of that PEP class, can I just tell you, there was last night was on limits, setting limits. And of all the classes, I feel like this one was the deepest digging. It was very valuable on what the parent should ask themselves, when setting limits. And I'm going to read it to you. I want to share this for you because I think a lot of us can be unconscious to it, and it's good to bring into the awareness. These are the 4 bullet points to ask yourself these questions when you're setting a limit. For all my fellow parent listeners out there, will my child learn something from the situation if I stay out of it? Right? So maybe just let nature take its course, and can they learn a natural, because setting limits is to teach them, right? And can they learn without parental intervention? This is my favorite one. Number 2, am I just trying to control something because I like it that way? Ooh, that's a doozy. I need to gather my courage and take a look at how I'm showing up as a parent. Is this about me and control, and because of my preference, an unnecessary limit, basically. Third one, will another solution address the issue? And number 4, has something changed making the original limit out of date? That's also important too. Some people get stuck in their ways. Their kids grow, and they keep their kids from growing too. It's like that kid should not be constrained because of your fear or your absent-mindedness. All right, you're hearing from my judge. It's all projection. This is all about me parenting, okay? Don't take it personally. All right. Speaking of ChatGPT, I did an analysis. I put into ChatGPT. I said, just a sidebar here. I said, hey, analyze the podcast. Tell me about the Robin Smith Show. And I wanted to share this with you because it made me laugh out loud. Your podcast, the Robin Smith Show, has a pretty clear pattern. In the solo episodes, you ramble about a handful of things happening in your life or the world, then share a music track near the end. Well, I didn't do that this time, did I, ChatGPT? I was oppositional against you. I shared the No Pterodactyls track at the beginning. Take that. The themes that come up repeatedly are music and playing live again, therapy, psychology ideas, spirituality or meditation, local or national news, sports, especially DC teams, and then personal anecdotes, doctor visits, snow shoveling, holidays, etc. That mix is actually your brand. Excuse me. It's basically therapist, musician, reflects on life, culture, and weird personal observations. Hey, who are you calling weird? Did I call it weird? I feel judged by the AI, by President AI. All right. What else do we have here? Oh, I was at the gym. I have to tell you this story. I was at the gym, and I see this guy, practicing on the heavy bag. He's a boxer. He's punching. And I just notice him. I go over and drink water from the water fountain. I notice him. I go continue my workout. But I notice he's not protecting his chin. Now, he's an older guy. Turns out he's in his 60s because I ended up talking to him. But I go over there after my workout. I have my AirPods in, and I'm going to go over there. And it's I just imagine it's just going to be a quick interaction. Hey, man, don't forget to protect that chin, right? So my motivation is I just wanted to chum it up, connect a little bit, maybe get to know him on a first name basis. A fellow boxer. Excuse me. And he goes, I think he had his headphones on, right? He takes his headphones off and he goes, actually, I'm not going to get I'm not going to get the quote right, but turns out this guy is a 7-time world champion, went over to China, trained with Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, owns his own martial arts studio with his wife, used to teach classes at the gym I go to before COVID. So I was, so he basically told me, he's I'm just, I'm here. If you see me with my hands down, it's because I'm doing this at the end of my whole workout, and you know how it is when you work out, your arms are tired. So he's not there for form, right? So he's a teacher. So the moment I get absolutely annihilated or humiliated, in a respectful way, he was respectful the whole time. But as soon as he said that, I took my AirPod out of my ear. I was squatting down to talk to him, And then as soon as that I realized that I was the biggest asshole and the biggest fool, I immediately, unconsciously, I take a knee. I'm I take the kneeling position as you would if you're a martial arts student. I'm just oh my God, deferential. But it was great. It was, he was like, I appreciate you connecting, man. What's your name? And he's like, I can tell there's no ego in this conversation. And I stopped him and I was like, well, there's a little bit of ego. I was like, part of me feels like an absolute, doofus, having given feedback to, he pulled out of his bag. He pulled out I don't know if it was a binder or if it was a magazine or whatever, but it was proof of him being world champion. And I was like, why does he carry that around? why does he, if he thinks someone doesn't believe him, maybe, I don't know. Excuse me. On the subject of fitness, though, I do want to give a shout out to stretching. Okay, I'm in my 40s. I was talking to a fellow dad, and he was like, I should do more cardio, or I don't remember what he said, but I was emphasizing stretching. I was like, man, I'm 40, but I treat myself as if I take Centrum Silver, as if I'm in my 50s. It really, I try to stretch every day. I'm singing lullabies to my daughter, and I'm on the ground, like doing a whole stretching routine. I can sing all of Quiet Time with Raffi, the whole CD. I can sing all those songs while I'm doing my evening stretching. It's a great double whammy. She falls asleep, and then, I don't have to go do stretching after that, right? By the way, I think I mentioned Centrum because I have to quit AG1. I've been taking Athletic Greens. I started listening to Joe Rogan back in the End of the World podcast at the Comedy Store, I believe it was in 2016. Hillary and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and it was excuse me. It was live on YouTube, and it was Rogan and Burr, and I don't remember what other comedians were there, but that's really when I started to regularly listen to Rogan. I don't listen to him so regularly anymore, but I attribute Rogan to why I have a Whoop strap, why I started taking Athletic Greens, a whole host of other fitness things, but it's so expensive, and I had to take a hard look at the budget, and I'm just like, all right, I can't justify this. I mean, just switching from that to a Centrum multivitamin alone is going to save hundreds of dollars. So yeah, well, they're not a sponsor, so I can I enjoyed it, but what'll be interesting to know is there a difference? Will I even notice a difference? I'll definitely notice a cash difference in my bank account. Let me tell you what. What else was I going to talk about? Was that it? Oh, no. Where are we on time? Okay, I have one more story. It's the springtime, and now there's this running club at the school my girls go to. And there was a parent sign-up volunteer thing. And I go to it, and I see two other dads that I know. But there are a bunch of other weeks, and I was like, all right, let me. I see the first Friday is sign up. So that's tomorrow. I'm gonna go tomorrow. So I sign up, and then I ask my girls. I go, hey girls, I see Mr. Josh. Hold on. Mr. Josh has signed up to be a dad volunteer, and Mr. Nick, and I'm signing up to be a volunteer. And guess what? Guess who's going to be the first one at your school this Friday? My daughter goes, Mr. Nick. Thank you. You have a lot of faith in your dad. I told him, I said, hey man, I shared that story with him, and I said, you know what that says? That says you show up in life. You are an involved father. You are reliable, and she picked you over me. I'm going to take my bruised ego here, and I'm going to nurse it back to health. Okay, I have to stop talking. I know some of these episodes, I've been doing this since 2020. And I will record when I'm sick, and it's brutal. And I thank you for sticking with me here. Thank you, as always, for listening. Should we close out with a read here? Let's do it. How about Feeding America? In a country that wastes billions of pounds of food each year, it's almost shocking that anyone in America goes hungry. Yet, every day, there are millions of children and adults who do not get the meals they need to thrive. We work to get nourishing food from farmers, manufacturers, and retailers to people in need. At the same time, we also seek to help our neighbors build a path to a brighter, food-secure future. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Give today. Thanks for listening. Consider giving to Feeding America. Go check out No Pterodactyls. They've got more tunes than just the ones I shared. They've been a band for a while. I don't know how long does it say how long they've been a band? I need to do my research before I just jump on the mic like this. Well, go to their website, nopterodactyls.com. Good luck spelling it. I'll put a link in the show notes, okay? All right, that's the show. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves. Until next time. The Robin Smith Show is produced by me, Robin Smith. Executive produced by Robin and Kelly Glenn Smith at Team Robley. Theme song by The Very Small. The show is engineered by one of my alters, Games Nabisco. Listeners can get in touch by calling or texting the hotline at 301-458-0883. Messages can be sent to robinsmithshow@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Disclaimer. This podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine, psychotherapy, or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice. Note, no therapist-patient relationship is formed. The use of this information is at the listener's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. Listeners should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they have and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.